Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying the lovely summer weather right now. Today I'm outside at one of my favorite places, Sagan Park, which if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen me posting pictures about the beautiful lake. I love being in nature, especially around water. It's something that is just very soothing for me, so I thought what better way to start off this episode by actually being around Sagan Park. So in today's episode, I'll be discussing a few topics in chapter 4, which is titled Confined and my memoir. I initially wanted to solely talk about femininity, but after reading that chapter, and like I said, it's the first time I've been reading these chapters again after publishing my book back in September of 2024. I've kind of been moved to circle back on the quote that I specifically chose to use by Maya Angelou. So I'll get into that a bit further down the line in this episode, but we're definitely going to get into a very, very passionate part of this chapter for me. Here we go. Chapter 4, Confined. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. Maya Angelou. At my new school, I was gifted with some semblance of freedom. My teacher, Miss Texas, a pretty, fair-haired woman with freckles, introduced me to the class. Everyone, this is Jamila. A bunch of eyes stared at me. I stood at the front of the classroom, stiff as a rock, and stared back. But in no time, I made friends. This school was different. There were so many black kids. In Aurora, I could count the number of black faces in my class on one hand. I was overjoyed to see people who looked like me. I attached myself to a certain crew, mostly boys. We raced each other during recess. I mimicked their ways, walking with a hop in my step, and making fun of girly girls. I thought acting like a boy was cool. The masculine vibe was attractive to me. So I chose to read this passage specifically because I talk about being in my masculine energy even as a child and being attracted to it. And given the fact that I didn't have a stable or present masculine figure in my life at that time, as I was writing this chapter and reflecting, it was obvious for me to see that one of the main reasons for that is because, again, like I said, I didn't have my father in my household, and the men that I did have in my household, they weren't there consistently, nor do I feel like it was their job to step in my father's place. But yeah, the topic of femininity, I know that's something that many people talk about, and it's something that, as you can see, based on this passage that I've read, that I've struggled with in my life. It's very easy for me to get into that masculine energy. I feel like that's what drives you to hustle and, get up and go to work and do what you gotta do. But there's also that feminine side of you that just wants to receive. Not always be in the role of a provider or a fixer. And when you come from an unbalanced household, that typically is a challenge that you have, going back and forth between those two energies and trying to figure out what it is that you like resting in more. And as I get older and as I'm preparing, to have my own life partner and have my own family and my children, resting in my femininity is something that I want and I know that I need, and that I still struggle to fall into place with. Now, when I'm resting in it, and I feel like in most recent days, again, if you follow me on my socials, you'll know that I had a wonderful book signing event at the Eaton Center. That day, I felt in my spirit, girl, you're going to receive a lot of love today. So just be open up your heart. Know that it is okay for you to receive, whatever that may look like. Obviously use discernment, but it is okay for me to receive love and light and whatever it is that the Most High wants to provide me with through other people. on that day. And I was really proud of myself because I did that. I just allowed myself to just be me, to just rest and know that, hey, like, I am more than worthy of being provided for, being taken care for. I don't always have to be in masculine energy or be super, super attracted to it like I was, or attached to it rather like I was in the past. Just have that healthy balance of things. So yeah, it's something that your girl is constantly working on, and is just trying to encourage myself to do that. I think some of the ways that I do that, or some of the tools that I use that help me really just be in a calmer, more balanced state and allow me to receive, is positive affirmations. Again, like I said, knowing that I am worthy and deserving of receiving, that I don't always have to be in that providing role, that I am valuable regardless of whether I'm doing something for someone, and that it is okay for people to do things for me too. So yeah, positive affirmations is definitely one. I love my nature walks, being around lakes, being, active, going on hikes and things like that. I feel like those type of things help me because they help me connect, in nature, by nature, is just very calming. What else do I do? Meditating 100% helps, just like finding things and ways to ground myself. So I start off each day by meditating, slowing down my mind. You'll hear airplanes around here as well, so if I get drowned out, that is why. I'll give it a second and let it pass by. Mr. Airplane is gone. But yeah, meditating, it's something that I love to do. It helps me just ground myself, calm my mind. It allows me to receive a lot more and a lot better. Hyping myself up, validating myself as well. Not just like waiting for people to do that. It's nice when they do, but at the end of the day, like, what's beautiful about being able to just validate yourself is you can do it every single day, at any single time of the day, without having to worry about when you're going to get it. You get to be in control of that. So those are just some of the things that definitely help me. I also love fashion, so I'm just trying to kind of just get back into that as well. That helps me just remain true to myself and what I like doing. So, I got a little bit of that fashionista gene within me, or I should say a lot of bit of that fashionista gene in me, because I am part Congolese. That is just the culture, c'est la vibe de les Congolais. So that just is what it is. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of just talk about, like I said, just resting in that femininity, encouraging myself and the girlies to do that too, that it's okay for us to be provided for. It's actually naturally the role that we're supposed to be in. We don't constantly have to give. So maybe just like as a homework or a side note, maybe look at your life and think about the areas where you maybe just give too much and start pouring back into yourself, and just be open to receiving. Of course, obviously use discernment. Don't do anything that will, allow you to build up negative karma. Just be good people, do good things. And that actually brings me right into the second thing that I wanted to talk about, which I said earlier in this episode, is in relation to the Maya Angelou quote. And thank you to her wonderful, generous estate for allowing me to use the quote. I purposely chose each quote for a reason. I kind of use it as like a thesis. The thing that I want you to take away from it the most is that. Obviously, I do not have control. You'll take away whatever you want to. But that was just the thing that I kind of wanted to highlight. So I'm going to read you another very, very short passage. And then, as always, just speak from my heart. On Earth and beyond, the feeling from experiences we have with other human beings is what we're left with. These experiences shape a person, and even deeper, their soul forever in a positive or negative way. The feeling of anxiety and toxicity from this period in my life is what I have sadly never forgotten. It has stuck with me ever since. You are going to be hearing a lot of the plane noises, so I apologize in advance for that, but I love hearing it because I love traveling as well. But anyways, getting back to that quote, yeah, like I said, I am rereading these chapters for the first time since September of last year, purposely done because writing a book is just a lot of work. And also, like, the first part of my life has been very, very heavy. And as I've written in my preface, sometimes it's easier for me, and I'm sure you as well, to just kind of run away from your emotions and the things that you've unfortunately been through. Transparently speaking, I felt that vibe to run as I was reading chapter 4 today. I was like, ooh, this is a lot. Some parts of it I no longer remember, which I believe is the part of me that's healed. It's less attached to the experience, which is always a great thing in my opinion, because it means that I've freed myself. And of course, in a healthy way is always the goal. But yeah, like, it's just heavy. I think that's just the easiest way for me to say it. There are still things that make me sad. There are still things that I am noticing and piecing together, feelings of unwantedness and feelings of rejection, and trying to understand where this all started and all arose from, and how certain experiences later on in life have, like, kind of heightened those feelings. But all that to say, like, and I'm saying this to you as much as I'm saying this to me, like, I am loved, you are loved, I am wanted, you are wanted. We were chosen to be here, so that means the Most High wanted us here. We are needed in this world, especially if you are someone who is purposeful and is walking in purpose. There's never a reason for us to feel unwanted and unworthy, and in those times when we do, or people make us feel that way, just know that that's a reflection of them. It's nothing that you did. There's no reason for you to internalize it. You just keep being the best person that you can be and move with the best of intentions that you can. And just remember again that you have an overall effect on people and their experiences in life. You know what I mean? As much as someone may be a villain in your story, also know that you could be a villain in other people's stories. So for sure, give them grace. But also just try to do your best. Try to show up as the best person. Have boundaries. I'm saying again, use discernment, because that's something that's just so important, especially for me on my journey. It's not something that I really knew how to do. I would just accept any and everything, and I understand that now. Obviously, it was coming from places of insecurity and feelings of unworthiness and unwantedness and all of that, which I'll definitely delve more into once I talk about the L'amour de soi chapter in my book, hopefully with like a few friends. But yeah, just do good things, be good people, definitely try to get as much positive karma as you can. And you do that, honestly, by just being a God-centered, purposeful person who knows and actually chooses to do right and not wrong. Even when it's hard, I don't take lightly that, honestly, it is hard to be a good person in this world because there's a lot of unkindness. But at the end of the day, it's for you, and you should always remain true to yourself. So yeah, that was pretty much it for episode 3 of the Glow Up Ascending in My 20s podcast. Don't feel shy. Give me a review, write a review. Let me know if there's any like topics or things that you want me to talk about. Or even if you want to make a guest appearance. I have no idea what that was. But a guest appearance on my podcast, I'm definitely open. And as always, I'm sending you guys a bunch of light and love. I'm going to finish the rest of my walk, possibly even run. Just stay hydrated and enjoy the rest of my day. All right, guys. Have a good one. Bye.